Happy New Year, viewers! With a new year comes new changes to the show. Watch the intro and you'll see just what I mean, and you'll also find out just what it is I'm reviewing for January. Lord of the Rings. What can you say? For many years, people said that no one could film J.R.R. Tolkien's trilogy of famous fantasy books, but in the early 21st century, Peter Jackson made the unfilmable filmable, and the Lord of the Rings film series is now one of the most successful film series ever, not just for box office, not just for critical reception, but for awards. And we start off Middle-earth month by reviewing the first Lord of the Rings film. Set in Middle-earth, this film centres around the Dark Lord Sauron, who created many rings years ago, but mainly one ring to control them all. In the final battle ever, he was thought dead, but transpires he survived, having placed his life force within the ring. Now that the ring has been passed down from Bilbo Baggins to his nephew Frodo, Sauron is determined to take back what is rightfully his. And soon begins, for young Frodo, is a journey to Mount Doom in Mordor in order to destroy the ring, but he will not have to do it alone, as Sauron's forces are determined to take back the ring. For Frodo has his allies and his friends in Gandalf the Great, as well as his hobbit friends, including Samwise, Merry and Pippin. Now, I'm going to start off by saying what I dislike about Lord of the Rings, and let me tell you, it's very little. The first point, the length of the films. Now, I know that the books are very long, and I know Peter Jackson wants to get as much as correct possible, but these films are just so long. In total, they last about 588 minutes, extended editions excluded. I mean, this first film is just under 3 hours, and there are many words to describe it. Long, extended, expanded, lengthy, spun out, stretched. I could go on all day. But, as I say, I understand Peter Jackson wants to get as much as correct possible, and I respect him for that. I'm going to get to my second dislikable point a bit later on, but in the meantime, I'm going to go on to what I think of the set, location and visual effects. 3 words come to mind: stunning, overwhelming, sensational. And I mean, they're just absolutely outstanding. The set location, it looks exactly like Middle-earth. And to think, Peter Jackson and his team managed to transform areas of New Zealand into classic Middle-age, Middle-earth. Just managed to transform it all into all that. I mean, that must have taken months of planning. Just months of planning, hard work. You gotta think. But that's not to say the makeup of the main villains, one of the main villains, the orcs, isn't just as overwhelming, because the people playing them look nothing like they do. They just look so different, and the orcs look so exact to how they would have been described in J.R.R. Tolkien's books. Sensational. But as I say, I'm now going to come to my second dislikable point, and this is taken more towards the end. The Fellowship of the Ring have just escaped from a massive army of orcs, only to be confronted by a massive Balrog, which is like a huge monster-like thing. Gandalf takes it on with the classic phrases, "You shall not pass!" and then proceeds to defeat it, only for the Balrog to attach onto him and drag Gandalf down. And that's copied in the books as well, but the way it's portrayed in the film is just... what the hell? Gandalf hangs on to the cliff edge. Frodo tries to move forward and save him, but the Fellowship pull him back. Gandalf goes, "Fly, you fools!" and falls down into the abyss. As I say, what the hell? Frodo tries to save him, but the Fellowship pull him back. I mean, Why did they not try and save him? I mean, they're a fellowship, they're supposed to stick together, help each other out, and they just let the great leader, or one of the great leaders, and one of the heroes, just plunge to his death. I mean, why? But that's not to say it won't be explained. It shall be revealed in The Two Towers, or at least when I review it. But coming back to the point of where it's overlong, I'm going to admit, I fell asleep halfway through this. I just got past the Mines and Warriors, the Fellowship were about to go into them, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up with the sun shining in my eyes. So, yeah, word of warning there, if you're watching Lord of the Rings at night, try and make sure you're not doing it in bed, otherwise you run the risk of falling asleep. But, as I say, I finished the second half, and well, it's just, as I say, the film's extended, expanded, lengthy. That's it, really. But taking the bad points aside, The Fellowship of the Ring is an outstanding start to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You got me really hooked at the end of it. I was really tempted to see Two Towers and Return of the King. And slight spoiler to you, they were absolutely just as outstanding. But I shall cover them in my next two reviews. Tune in next week, folks, for when I review The Two Towers. And it's slightly longiness than The Fellowship of the Ring.